Thank you all so much for stopping by today. So I wanted to do a really quick video to kind of update you on our bushel and berries blackberries. Now this is the baby cakes version. We have 2 of these on our patios, and we get a lot of questions about what size container, do they come back, do we prune them, how do you feed them? So I want to answer a few of those today in this video. So let's go ahead and let's get started. So if this is your first time here, we definitely want to welcome you and thank you so much for stopping by. We hope that you consider subscribing. We are teaching you tips, tricks, and techniques when it comes to gardening. We also do product reviews as well as recipes here on our channel. So definitely hit the subscribe button and make sure you tap the notification bell so that you can get notified each and every time we upload a new video. So the first thing I want to do is talk about the size of the pot. This was probably one of the most common questions about the size of the pot. Now these pots right here, they are 16 inches, but to be honest, y'all, I think probably in the fall, I will repot them and put them in a 20-inch container. But let me tell you, 16 inches is fine. They have been growing well in here, and I am really pleased with the results. Now we're in zone 8B, so the way the blackberries work for us is we get like a big flush in the spring. So I'm going to get a little bit closer so that you can see all of the beautiful blooms that are coming on. We get a huge flush in the spring. Now what I will tell you is that once these blackberries start forming, I have to come out here with a bird netting and cover these. Because the birds will pick and pick and pick at them, and they just won't stop it. Like, you know, they just won't take this one and eat it and enjoy it. Like what they'll do is they'll just go around and around this plant, and they just mess up my blackberry. So I will come out once I start seeing fruit on here. I definitely will put bird netting on top. So that leads us into the next question. How often do they fruit? So again, it depends on your zone. If you're in probably a colder climate, you probably will only get 1 flush that comes on. But again, we see our biggest results in the spring like now, and then we'll see another flush again in the fall. Now the one in the fall won't be as much, but we still can continue to pick them and freeze them, because let me tell you, the blackberry cobblers that we have made with these blackberries that fruit off of here were very good. And again, this is the bushel and berry. I have started seeing them more in garden centers. We did plant this from a bare root, and like I said, we are probably going to pot up this fall. Now let me tell you why I have this trellis here. I noticed in the first year and even the second, they were forming. So this is supposed to be where you can grow it in pots. And if you have ever seen, and I'll try to find a picture and flash it up on the screen, if you've ever seen the packaging, like they have them so neat and so tidy and pretty in the container, but I noticed that ours was more climbing at first. So what I did is I built this little trellis out of bamboo sticks, and if you look down here, I have these clips because I was just training them to go up the trellis and clipping them, but I wanted them to get established, so I let them do their thing for 2 years. And so this time what I did, this was total experiment, and it totally works. Because I'm seeing where they're starting to form that container look that you see on the package. What I did when these were dormant, for us it was around January, is I went in and I pruned them back. I did prune them back. If you could see, like right here, I just cut them back. Now I never prune more than 30% of the plant. So they were all the way up here. So what we did is we just kind of cut them in different places, cut them back. And now I can tell, and I'll push this out just a little bit so you can see, now we're starting to get that bushier forming plant that you see like on the package. And then again, I noticed when I prune them, we have so many more buds coming. So I will definitely continue to do that. and prune them back a little bit because they look so pretty. So they definitely will benefit from a little pruning. Like I said, I did not do it the first year. We did these in 2019, so this is going on our third year. So in January of this year, I pruned them back. Now let's talk about the maintenance that I do in order to keep these coming back strong and producing plenty of beautiful blackberries for us to enjoy. So the purpose of me out here today is now, since they're waking up, they're getting buds. I am a little bit behind, but that's okay, honey. These are about to get ready to flourish when I get ready to do what I'm going to show you. And I do this every season. So once they start waking up, budding out, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come in. Now what I do is I remove pretty much, I don't want to tell you how many inches. I'm just trying to think, how many inches do I remove? I take part of this potting soil out, okay? And then what I'll do is I'll come in and I will use berry tone. As you see, this is organic berry tone by Espoma. This is the same thing I use for my strawberries when they started to bud out, and I also use this for my blueberries. And I'll make sure I link the video where we did this with our strawberries, cleaned them out. See, and look at the bees. The bees love this. Y'all probably didn't catch it, and I'm not gonna aggravate him on the camera, but they love these blooms. And like I always tell y'all, just because it says berry tone, look on the side of the package and see what else is good for, because it's not just berry. It's other plants, and as you can tell, blackberry is on here too. I mean, it's berry tone, but it's other plants that this actual fertilizer can also be used on. So just don't think you have to use this for your berries. So we'll go in, we'll take some of this potting soil out, we'll mix in some of this berry tone here, and then what I come back in and do, I do have a few worm castings that I'm also going to put in there, and then I also put some compost in there. Right now we just have the black cow compost, so I'm going to put that in there, and then I'm also going to put my straw mulch to kind of to make sure that we are conserving the moisture and keeping the temperature right, and also helping with weeds, because that's the reason why this soil is bare now, is because once they started to bud out and start to get the fruits on here, we had, and I still see a few more weeds. Like I had a lot of weeds in here, and so what we did is we took them, we pulled all the weeds out, and so we'll put a fresh layer of the straw mulch on. So let me go ahead and get that prep, and then I'll show you how everything looks. But I will put this berry tone in now, and then I'll probably come back in around June or July and put a little bit more on here, because remember, we get a big flush, and then in fall we get another flush, and then after that I don't do any more of the slow release fertilizer. Sometimes, since it gets so hot, and the slow release fertilizer, and because remember, one thing about when you grow in containers, the containers can't pull nutrients from the soil, so it's up to you as the gardener to put those nutrients back in the soil. And a lot of times when we start having those rainy days and having lots of rain, the nutrients drain faster from the container, so it's up to us to put them back in there. That's just a helpful tip that I always tell people when you are container gardening. It's up to you to make sure you have the proper nutrients for that plant. So let me go ahead and get this done. We can check this off the list, but I thought that I would share this video just so that if you're thinking about growing blackberries in a container, you don't have a lot of space, this is a great way to still enjoy it. And we get quite a few blackberries from these two plants. So let me go ahead and do that. And then also Bushel and Berries, we're not sponsored or anything, but they also have a line of blueberries that we have in the garden, and they have raspberries. We haven't tried raspberries that much. I didn't really grow up on raspberries. We grew up on, like, seriously blackberries, but I do like to put blueberries in our smoothie, because we actually have wild blackberries that grow in our yard out here that I actually, you know, sometimes pull. But I can just remember as a child, like all on the side of the road we would be walking and I would have my shirt and just loaded up with blackberries. I remember my grandmother told me one time, don't bring no more blackberries home, because that meant if I'm bringing them home, she would have to make a pie. And so she would make like a blackberry cobbler, and it was always good. So I would always make sure that I had enough blackberries for her to make. So let me just go ahead and spruce all of this up, and then we'll come back and I'll show you how everything looks. Okay, so we have fertilized it with our Berry Tone slow release fertilizer. We have put in our compost, and we also added in a few worm castings. So these are ready to begin and continue fruiting, and we can enjoy blackberries all season long. So I just wanted to answer some of the most common questions that we have about these. To be honest, I probably should have bought more. I just really love these. They're very easy to care for, and they just produce some beautiful fruits. And so I hope this was able to help you all. As always, thank you all so much for watching this video, and I hope you share this video with your family and your friends. If you are not a subscriber, we would absolutely love to have you as a subscriber. So make sure you tap the bell so that you can receive notification each and every time we upload a new video. Again, thank you all so much for watching, and until the next video, bye-bye.